Let's get to Johnny in New Jersey. John, thank you for the campaign donation, John. Thank you.
Yes, no problem, John. How are you, my friend?
Super.
The one thing on a side note, real quick, and you're in business and you've had your ups and downs. The one thing that I've learned, because I'm in a second career right now, which I love, but my first career, I was a Wall Street guy.
Wait a minute. Whoa,
A
whoa,
good thing.
whoa, whoa. Wait a minute. Stop, hard stop. Wait, this is new information. So, John from Monmouth
New
County.
information.
Now, wait a minute. So, everybody
Yes.
knows John's married to Michelle. Haven't met her, but I'm sure she's a wonderful lady. He's got kids. So, he's an ER nurse. He's an ER nurse, which is a tough job because you're in the ER room. So, I assumed that John, his whole career, was in nursing or medicine. He's an ER nurse, goes to work, driving to work, just like many of our listeners are, driving to work, got me tuned in. Now you're telling us, after all these years, that your first career was on Wall Street in gangster bankster land? What? Tell us about that.
25, 25 years. I worked at a hedge fund for 15 of it. I traded currencies. So I was in the high end of this thing. So I really have a great understanding of this stuff. That's why I knew yesterday, the moment, oil was the easiest short in the business yesterday. The bottom line is, it was all hype and everybody and their mother was telling you it was going. Do you remember when they said oil was going to $6 a barrel?
Yes.
That's when I went long, because from that point it went to 100. So the bottom line is, the moment they tell you where it's going, you want to go the other way. But yes, I spent my first 25 years working on Wall Street, and then I went back and I got a second career.
Why'd you leave?
ER nurse.
Why'd you leave finance?
It ran its course. The bottom line is, I didn't have in me what it takes to do what it takes to go where you need to go in that business. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Bottom line is, you burn out a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, I love what I do now, and I wish I had done this from day one. But, when you're young, you want the excitement, the money. I lived in Manhattan for all those years, and it was a lot of fun, but, it ran its course, so to speak. And I just didn't have in me what it takes to stay at the level I was at in that industry. As you get older, you kind of teeter out from that. It's night and day, 24/7. And the currency market opens at 6 p.m. on a Sunday. It closes at 6 p.m. on a Friday. So it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But, the one thing I learned in that.
But then you went back to school to be an RN. What made you choose that? I just find this fascinating, John.
Well, my wife's a physician. Michelle, she's a physician, and it just seemed like a good fit. I kind of like the 3 days a week, 12 hours a day. People, I didn't want to have to worry about a third career. So I kind of did the numbers. I said, hey, listen, people are going to get sick. They're going to need people helping them. So I figured I'd go back. And I did an accelerated program at Rutgers University. It was very difficult. And the rest is history.
What a fascinating story. What's fun about this show is I've never met you or Michelle, but I feel I know you, and I know Larry, who's coming up, and I know Steve, and I know all of our callers, although I've met very, very few of them. But that's really the wonderful thing about it. This is a community, and now you're your own person. You're your own personality. John from Wall Street, now an RN nurse in the emergency room. It's kind of funny. It's interesting. All right, John, anyway, I didn't need to go down that path.
The bottom line is, the one thing I learned on Wall Street is what I'm trying to tell you, but this wasn't I have a serious question for you that I really need to know, but a good thing never lasts. So the clickbaiters, you could see it. It's reaching peak insanity. This is a lot of bots, things like that. It's just, it can't last in terms of the insanity that these people are spewing. So I think, it's always the guy that stays the steady course with his eye on the prize. And truth, as crazy as it sounds, And sometimes we get a little discouraged. Truth will always win out in the end. And that's basically based in God and Jesus Christ. So what I want to talk to you about is this guy Thune. Because now I don't want to go into the tinfoil hat arena, but we have everybody and their mother pressing for the SAVE Act, including the President of the United States. You have everybody that's important and serious in our movement pressing for this. They're going to be going to South Dakota. You have Scott Pressler. I mean, all the pundits, yourself. Then on top of that, we have the stakes that everybody, unless you're, mentally decapitated, understands that the Democrats are going to blow the filibuster. This is an existential threat to our country. Yet this guy Thune, which this will destroy his political career, for whatever reason, will not move on this thing. It just isn't making sense on any level. And if I'm thinking it, millions of other people are thinking it. So I want to know if is this guy bought? Is there something more deeper that we're not seeing? Because the fact that he's being so unreasonable and not willing to do this and fighting it at every level. His buddy Cornyn is now Paxton is gaining momentum daily, so he's going to be gone. It just doesn't make sense why this guy has been everything under the sun has been put in front of this guy to get this thing done, or to at least attempt to get this done, and he just will not go forward. It can't be that he just doesn't want to break tradition. It just doesn't make sense at this point. And I just want you to try and explain this to me, because I can't understand it. It's very frustrating.
Fear of accountability is what this is. 3 words explains it. As long as Republicans can hide behind 60-vote cloture rule, one person crushing any piece of legislation, as long as they can do that, they have no accountability. They've passed nothing. They vote on nothing. So when re-election comes, you have nothing on them. They're more comfortable in the minority. That's their job for life. Yes, Senator. No, Senator. Senator, would you like a hot cup of coffee or a cold soft drink? Senator, are you comfortable? Would you like a pillow, Senator? Senator, here's the 25 people on your staff. Oh, here's the staff people on your committee. Senator, your car is ready. Senator, may we pick you up now? Senator, how would you like your meat cooked? This is their life, dude. They do nothing. They don't work. They're a waste. But this cloture rule gives them the ability to not be accountable to anything. And as long as they have that, they don't want to deal with it. I mean, I don't know why President Trump just doesn't say, hey, either Thune, either you get rid of this thing and go to a talking filibuster, or I'm going to publicly call for you to be removed as leader. And I'm going to back Rick Scott right now and try to get 53 and try to get 27 senators to oust your sorry butt. He won't do it either. So it becomes a talking charade. President Trump, I'm not going to sign another bill until you pass the SAVE Act. Well, no bills pass the Senate anyway, so there's nothing comes to your desk. So what exactly are you going to sign? Certainly if they open the DHS, you're going to sign that because, people have to get paid. So that's an empty threat. I mean, I love my president. I love everything he's doing. But until he says, okay, I want 27, I'm going to get on the phone, me and James Blair, my, deputy chief of staff, and Susie, we're going to get on the phone. We're going to call. We want 27 senators. We want to oust Thune. We want to bring in somebody for, I don't know, Ron Johnson, somebody, pick somebody. We're going to vote for, we're going to call them up, or we're going to primary every single one of you guys. Cornyn's going to lose. And now we're going to get this done. Short of that, waste of time. Great soundbite, waste of time. Am I right? Tell me. Somebody call me and tell me I'm wrong.
It's, it's just insane to me. And I guess that's where, because now you're starting to see people in Congress starting to say they're not going to pass any legislation. So, I mean, listen, the momentum is starting to go in our favor. And this is an existential threat. We have to get this voting. There's nothing more important in this country. The Iran war, Ukraine, none of it matters.
Yes,
if we
tomorrow,
can't
if
get fair elections.
John Thune says we're going to a talking filibuster, which somebody called the other day and said he has the power to do. I think it was Jim Pfaff. He's been around forever. He went crazy yesterday over it. He's like, he can do it today. They don't want to do it. Don't you understand? They don't want to do it. Not only do they don't want to do it, 3 of the 53 senators already said they'll vote no on the SAVE Act. McConnell, Tillis, and Murkowski. Three are already voting no. So you have 50 votes max. They don't want to win. They hate Trump so much they don't want to win. Murkowski, Tillis, and the senile guy with dementia in a wheelchair, McConnell, all voting no. So that means you need 50 votes plus Vance. You lose 1, you're dead. This is how precarious this is. SAVE Act is the biggest no-brainer in history. You can't even get it to the. They can't even get it to the floor for it to get defeated. They don't want to bring it to the floor because then they got to go on a record. It's just insane. But this is where we are, dude.
I mean, yeah. I mean, listen, 84% of the country wants this thing, including Democrats, 99% of Republicans. It makes no sense. It's driving everybody insane. And this guy's basically, yesterday Thune was out there trying to say this was an influencer campaign, that this is the need for it isn't real. I mean, this guy, like I said, we're going to have to take this to a different level. I personally think there's something deeper, but like I said, I'm not one to go down that road, that Alex Jones road. That's why I listen to your show. But it's just, it doesn't make any sense. It's completely frustrating. And like I said, we're starting to remove these people one by one anyway. So if they can't see the writing on the wall.
A poll that came out yesterday, Cornyn's down by 10. I mean, he's not going to win. And if Trump endorses him, it's going to be an embarrassment, in my opinion, because Paxton's not going to get out of the race without the SAVE Act. They're not going to pass the SAVE Act. And if LaCivita and Wiles get Trump to back Cornyn is going to lose, and the president's going to be embarrassed. Like, why would you do that? Just let the people decide. You don't have to weigh in here. And why weigh in for somebody that's going to lose? I mean, I don't care. Look, Paxton, Cornyn spent $40 million in the primary. Paxton spent $3 million. He got outspent 13-1. And virtually, it was a tie. He got 41-40. Virtually tied him. It was a tie. He got 40%, spent $3 million. He's got a huge amount of money in the bank. Cash. Didn't spend it in the primary, didn't have to. Not going to have to spend it in the runoff, won't have to. Saving it for the general. Or if they can't do it for the general, he'll spend it in the runoff. I don't know. But that's the reality. People are done with this. And Paxton is going to win this race. And so, obviously if Trump endorses Cornyn, they go all out and, changes the status of my tour. No doubt about it. We got to go to Cornyn's events if he backs them. But why would you do that and lose and get embarrassed? I mean, I get LaCivita is making money. I get it. But, dude, I mean, 40 million to 3 million and you're tied? Give me a break. The hell you go from here? But, look, it is what it is, right?
The polling shows that Paxton wins even with Trump's endorsement at this point. And plus the microscope now is on Cornyn and all the garbage is coming out on him. The more you start to understand about this guy and see, you really don't even want Paxton dropping out of the race at this point, regardless of whatever happens.
He's going to be a U.S. Senator. He's going to win the primary with or without, regardless of what the president does. I believe that's just my opinion. I don't have any fact for this. I just know that the Cornyn votes are turning out. And, I mean, the Paxton votes are going to turn out in a runoff. They're going to turn out. And Wesley Hunt got 13%. Where are those voters going? To Cornyn? They're not going to Cornyn. Go to Paxton. So he's going to win. Like, if without Trump endorsing Cornyn, he wins, handily. With it, it's going to be very, very close. But we'll see what happens. But either way, I don't think. And then they say, "Oh, Cornyn can't win in the general." Yeah, he'll win in the general, no doubt about it, because he'll get the base out. In fact, the best thing to happen for Texas Republicans is he's at the top of the ticket because you will get the base out. You're not getting the base out for John. We'll see. Look, I'm doing a bus tour there. We'll figure it out. We'll talk to people like we did in Iowa, and they'll tell us. Thank you, John, and it's good to hear about your story. My best to your doctor wife, Michelle, and thank you for the donation, and thanks for sharing that story. John was a gangster bankster,
Yes.
now a nurse. You can't make this stuff up, folks. Do I have the best callers in America or what? They're the best. All right, I'm going to go to a quick break. I got Larry in Virginia coming up. Larry, don't go away. We know you're still, we hope you're okay. Battled cancer. He's come back stronger than ever. Oh, by the way, Larry, I did get Robin's number. I got to hook you up. I had to travel here yesterday, so I forgot that. I'm definitely going to do that, Tyler, on the Tyler Lacey Godzilla dating show. We'll be right back. I do have her number, Larry. I forgot. We'll be right back.